Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Katy. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are going to count down our top, well, how do you want to put this?
We're ranking our the
Thank
pandemic.
you. That's what
All
I
the
meant.
games in the pandemic, the pandemic universe.
So we either have or have played a total of 15 games in the pandemic universe. We think we've played them all. If we've missed any, please let us know because we're curious ourselves. So we're gonna rank them down, starting at our least favorite.
Yep,
Right?
starting at the bottom, going to the top.
Okay. Before we get started, though, as always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and of course, hit that bell icon if you want notification of anything future we put out.
Oh, yeah, that's me again, isn't it?
It is.
Or you can click the link below and follow us on all of our social media.
Or you can do both. That's okay, too. Anyway, shall we get started?
What's that supposed to mean?
Because you say or instead of and.
Oh. Okay.
Let's get started. 15 total games in the pandemic universe that we have, again, as I've said, we either own or we have played. Well, we've played them all, but...
Well, do you want to tell them how we did this?
Oh, yes, of course. Okay, so...
And why there's ties?
And why there's ties. Okay, so we talked about doing a joint ranking, which is
Yes.
what we're ultimately doing. However, in order to get a fair ranking, because each of us like different ones different ways, so we each ranked them completely separately, and then we joined the numbers together. We basically added the two numbers together. So if one of them came in 1 on my list and 10 on his list, we added them together and it became an 11. And then we put those in order and we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the line.
And we only agreed on one of them, which is the number one.
Yes, we only agreed on the number 1. So everything else was off just a little bit. And so therefore you're going to find a couple ties because the numbers actually added up to the same thing. So all right,
And we
now
can tell them what we ranked them at.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we're going to start it off with our 15th, the game that came in at 15
Yes.
between us.
Combined score of 29.
Yep. I ranked it at 15. You ranked it at 14.
I did.
So this is our least favorite one. This is Rapid Response. One reason is because we're not really big into real-time games.
It's a real-time game, and I often wonder if you took that real-time aspect out of it, would it be any better?
I don't think the pressure would be there.
The pressure wouldn't be there because there's no deck you're counting down,
Right.
like there is in every other game.
So I get the whole real-time. This is where you're actually in the airplane trying to make all the things that each country needs to help with the pandemic. And you're trying to run around the rooms, rolling your dice to make certain things happen. And as you get it, you can put it in the loading dock. And then somebody actually has to go to the loading dock to dump it out to the country below.
But meanwhile, you're making waste.
And you've got to maintain the waste. So
yes, you have to clean.
Plus, you also got to be able to move the airplane to the
Yes.
countries you need. Because you can go forward or backwards with the plane, but it's going around this oval
I
board.
like what it does. I love the components. The components the dice are gorgeous. I love the components. I just don't like that real-time aspect. I don't like that stress of the real-time. So, but yeah, that's our number 15.
So that's Rapid Response.
All right, so
Our number 14.
our number 14 is, again, this is a combined total of 23, is Contagion. Contagion is a small box game. This was meant to basically be Pandemic the card game, I think. This came out shortly after Pandemic. The idea with this one is, though, that you are playing certain diseases. You are not trying to cure the disease. You are the disease.
You're trying to spread and take over countries.
Right. So there's a number of cards out on the board, and every player is playing one of the 5 diseases, the black, the red, the yellow, the blue, and the purple even. And you're trying to lay cards down so that you can spread infection into specific colored cities. And as soon as that city breaks, as in kind of like a smash up type mechanism, you get enough on that city, it'll break, and whoever has the most gets that card and gets the points for that card. So I enjoy it. But it's definitely different. It's not something we pull out very often, but I have enjoyed our games of it.
Yeah, it's one that doesn't have a big pandemic feel to it.
No, the artwork is really about the only thing. Not even the artwork, the graphic design of the cards.
Yeah.
Is really, and the cubes with the petri dishes. This is really the only thing that gives it that pandemic feel.
Yeah.
Honestly, because the boards really don't. Because these are your boards. You're keeping track of what you're doing.
It reminds me a lot of the game Plague.
Yeah, it does. It actually reminds me a lot of the game Plague. That's true.
Because this one too, you're trying to make it a little bit. Each time you're doing things, you're trying to make your disease a little bit stronger.
Right.
Just like in Plague.
So I like it, but number 14. I combined 23. So there you go. All right. So number 13
with a combine of 22.
Yes.
Look at that. That is Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. This one, when we first played it, we thought it was so simple.
Oh my gosh, it was.
But this last time we played it,
we almost
it
lost
was
this
yeah,
time.
it was a little bit more of a struggle, I thought, this time.
Maybe the first couple plays of it, we just got the right combination of cards.
Possibly, or we just flat out playing it different.
Maybe we played it wrong. I don't know. This time around, the cards were not in our favor.
No.
I felt like every one of the old ones that came out were doing detrimental things rather than, that doesn't really hurt us things.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But I don't think in either plays of it, any of the plays we've had of this, we've even remotely come close to losing our insanity.
No, I don't think we have either.
We've been able to keep that at bay a lot. So
this one plays with the standard pandemic system. Unlike the last two, this has your standard pandemic system. Everybody takes 4 actions. You draw 2 cards. You pull the bad cards. You seed the board with, in this case, with cultists, not disease. Basic system.
And then you have the one big guy.
Yeah, you have you do have bigger guys that come out.
or whatever his name was.
Not
Splugorth. You always want to say Splugorth.
I do always
That's from a role-playing game.
Yes, I know. But anyway, you have this one guy that goes around, and if you end up having to do battle with him, you lose insanity. But you are also able to go through gates in this one to get to the other side of the city. The city isn't that big to begin with.
That's one of
There's
the
not
ways
that many
you
spots.
can lose your insanity.
Yes. But as with a normal pandemic game, as things progress and you end up, you pull that card.
The epidemic basically in this game is you're waking up another old one.
Right, you're
and now
waking up an old
something
one.
else is going to happen on the board.
Right. It changes the rules in some fashion.
Yep. And then if you get as far as waking up Cthulhu, you lose.
Right. I think this one came in low because we are not huge in the Cthulhu theme.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's a fun game.
I thought,
Very interesting game, though, but we're not big Cthulhu fans.
Right.
So
if you are a
probably why it
Cthulhu
ranks so
fan,
low.
this is a good one. I do think so. We're just not Cthulhu fans. So.
Yeah, and I ended up ranking this higher than I thought it would, too. So.
Yeah.
But yep,
Yeah, mine was right there
Pandemic
toward the
Reign of Cthulhu.
All right. Where are we at? Okay, so we have a tie for 11. We have Fall of Rome
And
and
Clone Wars.
Fall of Rome follows a little bit of neither one of these follow the pandemic footprint completely.
No, they just have the mechanisms. These are 2 games that are in the pandemic verse.
Yes. So with Fall of Rome, you're moving around the board, which is basically the Roman Empire.
Yes.
You've got a number of different clans in the north trying to get to Rome to sack it, and if that happens, you lose the game. Meanwhile, you are trying to keep those different empires at bay, the troops
keep
at
the
bay.
troops back.
You can convert them into your own soldiers. We've never had luck with making that happen, but it is a rule in the game.
Yeah, because it's when you get you make a pact with them or something like that.
Something
wasn't
like
it?
that. Yeah, when
and then you're allowed to, if you go into that area, now
That's
you
right.
can convert those over to your
if you do the peace treaty with
to
that
your
clan,
side. I can't remember the exact name for it though, but they are called
the little red guys. What are the little red guys?
It's you guys know the little red guys, right?
Yeah.
I
over the
don't
back of the box.
remember.
See,
Everybody's
it's the little red
screaming
guys
at
in the
it. If
back
you
of
know
the
your
box.
Roman.
Anyway, it's peace treaties. If you may form, instead of curing diseases, you're forming peace treaties with these clans. And some of them require 3 cards, 4 cards, or 5 cards. So they're all a little different. The hard part of this is getting your own troops. It is hard to get your troops. And if you don't have troops, you can't fight very well.
And you can only bring the troops out at your fortifications.
Yes.
So you have to build fortifications up too.
So I
like this a lot more than you do.
Care for
I
this
ranked this a lot higher than what you did.
All right, so anyway, that is Fall of Rome, one of our number 11s. Our other one.
Then we have Star Wars Clone Wars, where you are playing a Jedi versus one of 4 different
you're playing up against
villains. You have Darth Maul, Dooku,
Count
General
Dooku,
Grievous,
Maul, General Grievous, and another one we've not heard of.
I think she's from the cartoon.
Yeah.
But so you're playing against them, you're fighting them, and you're basically trying to outdo them.
And well, it gives you it gives you this whole series of planets, and instead of moving around cities, you're moving around on the planets.
Yep.
But it is still the same system. You draw 4 cards. Everybody gets 4 actions.
Then you have a
do
bad
the bad
card.
things that seed out the clones. So it's an interesting game. I do enjoy this one. We need to play it more.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I think we've only got 1 or 2 plays of this. So.
Yeah, we haven't played it very often.
Maybe more plays, it might go up the rankings. Who knows?
All right, that is number 11.
So we had a tie at
number 9.
Number 9 as well.
Okay, and well, that's easy. These are the hot zones.
They play almost identical. So
they do, and I'm not surprised at all these came in as a tie.
And there were supposed to be 4 or 5 of these originally, but they stopped after these 2.
Well,
and you're supposed to be able to play them together.
The production on these, unfortunately, came out right as
the pandemic
actually hit.
The real pandemic hit.
So I can see why they just didn't go over very well.
No.
These are miniature versions of the base game of Pandemic.
You're going to open them?
I just want to show one of the maps. So it has, still folded in 4 though. So the maps are just these little bitty sections of the world. So instead of being the entire world map, you just have a section of the world. This one was what? Asia, Europe. Each one of them still only has 3 diseases instead of 4. You still have all of your different specialties, but each one of them does something just a little bit different. Each one of them adds in a slightly different set of cards that gives it just a little more complexity. Something bad that happens when they come out of the deck. But same concept, you're doing a number of turns, you're drawing. I think the turns are smaller though on this one. It is a smaller game in general. This is a 20-minute game, both of them.
Yep.
So yeah, they're good little games.
30-minute.
Yeah, well, they play about 20. Okay. All right.
Our number 8 is one that we don't have the box for. This is...
Oh, yes, okay.
Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Yes. Yeah, this box is long gone. We did recycle it because the board was not usable again afterwards. I kept all the plastic stuff because you never know.
You ranked this extremely higher than I did.
I really liked this one.
I wasn't too big on it.
I know.
I felt like it just stalled out, and not because it took a 6-month gap between the times we started it and finished it, but I think it just...
Okay.
It stalled out because you had to have certain cards to be able to open up new areas, and it always seemed like when you would just start to get think you had the right cards, and finally it's like, oh, they have to be different colored cards, or they have to be different countries of the same colored card, and you ended up using this just to kind of put out the fires over here, and you could never get the other parts. So I don't think we opened the entire map up.
I don't remember if we ended up opening the map up. I don't know if we ever took any final pictures on this one. I enjoyed the discovery aspect of this. I enjoyed the aha moments. There were quite a few aha moments in this that tied back to season 1. I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed the story of it. Yes, it did stall out a couple of times, but I feel like had we gone a different route, maybe we could have gotten those uncovered, but we didn't. We had started playing this 4-player. The other 2 players kind of crapped out on us at one point, and we stalled out for 6 or 7 months. We finally just picked it up and finished it ourselves. So, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, this is your typical legacy game. You know, as you're moving through the maps and as you're moving through the months, you are uncovering new things and uncovering sections of the map and learning new stuff, taking things out of the box. So I enjoyed it.
Okay, the next one.
The next one is another one we do not own. We got to play this one. This would be number 6.
This was a Gen Con this
We actually
year.
had a tie for number 6. So the first one on the list is one we played at Gen Con.
Oh, yes. This was one that I ranked a lot higher than you.
Yes.
This is
right.
World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah, we got to play this at Gen Con. It was interesting. We ended up playing it twice.
Yes,
In the
because we
2-hour
got totally
period. We got
off base at the
demolished
beginning.
on the first one.
I don't think everybody even got a turn before we were about
I
done.
think we got through one turn, but nobody got their. I don't think all of us got our second turn before we were like one step away from just losing the game. And we reset the board and we started over again. We still lost,
Yes.
but we got further. So that was good. I think we all had, it took that first game, that first run of bad luck to figure out what not to do. So this one's same concept as actually Star Wars.
Somewhat, yeah.
You still take so many actions, you still draw cards, you still seed the board with bad things, but you're moving around to the different locations in the World of Warcraft. I want to say in that world, basically.
Yes.
And
In the
doing
World of
different
Warcraft
things.
world.
Yes, thank you. It just didn't come out smoothly because of the word world twice. Anyway, I enjoyed it, not knowing anything about World of Warcraft. That's
Yeah, and
probably
I
what
knew
brought
little.
it down
I
for
didn't
me.
play the video games.
Yeah,
so.
I never played. I don't play video games, period.
Nope.
But I still enjoyed it.
Yep.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Well, not that much,
I know.
considering where your ranking's at.
Whatever. Anyway, the other one that tied at 6 is Pandemic Rising Tide. This one, again, is in that world. Still doing 4 actions, pulling 4 cards, seeding the game with bad things. Same thing. Only this time, instead of seeding it with disease, you're seeding it with water. You are taking out dikes that are holding back the water. And if you run out of water cubes, you've lost the game. So the whole goal of the game is to get the pumps in place, rebuild the dikes, push the water back out to sea. I really like this one. We have never won this one, but I do enjoy the challenge of it.
Yeah, the first time we played it,
We were so close on this last one.
the first time we played it, it had been a while since we played it the next time, but
Yeah.
I couldn't remember much liking it the first time we played it.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember a lot of it. And then the last time we've played this, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't bad. There's a lot going on in this game.
There's a lot going on, and we were so close. We were one turn away from winning it. We could have had it, but yeah, bad luck, bad card draw. So very fun game, but that is Pandemic Rising Tide, tied for our number 6. I'm sorry, we forgot to do the combined. The combined, these two came in at 15. So, all right.
Next, on my side here, we have number 5, Iberia.
4. I totally skipped the number.
Yes, you did.
4,
That's why
5.
I'm doing this one. This is Iberia. This, I believe, was the first of the offsets from actual pandemic. It still has that you have to cure the diseases. This one you can build railroads throughout. You only have a limited amount of railroads, so you've got to be very careful how you do the railroads.
Yeah.
And you have hospitals where you have to go to a certain colored hospital to cure that colored diseases. So your best bet is trying to figure out where the hospitals are at and get those built so you can get your train tracks to make the route for you, because you can go from one city on a railroad and go all the way across the board, basically, if your railroad's built that far, to another hospital if you have to, though. So it's almost down to the point where you need somebody, if you're only playing 2 players, you need somebody building that railroad, another person trying to get the hospitals out and kind of keeping the diseases at check.
Everything at bay, yeah.
Yes, you got to keep everything at check, though, but you need to get those railroads in there so you can move around the board faster to take out some of these things that are building up.
No.
But yeah, so
We didn't win it this last time.
no, but I do really like this one.
Yeah, I like this one.
It's one of the better ones, I think, that's of the off-breed. This, and like I said, I really liked Follow Rome. She did not.
No.
But this is our number 5, Pandemic Iberia.
All right, our number 4 is The Cure, Pandemic of the Dice game, essentially. So with this one, there is no actual board. Everybody has a specialty set of dice. You're rolling the dice. It's kind of a Yahtzee style. You can re-roll as many times as you want, but there is one symbol on the dice that you cannot re-roll because that is the symbol that activates the bad stuff. That is the symbol that makes the what is that called? I cannot think of what it's called. The outbreaks. That grows, actually it's not even the outbreaks. It's the, it makes the meter move faster. So you can't re-roll those. So it's a push your luck dice rolling game. Each character has certain things they are strongest at. Maybe they are strongest at collecting samples, or maybe they are strongest at curing the entire tile. Each of the regions of the world are set up on 6 basically coaster type tiles. And you are moving from tile to tile either by ship or by plane. By ship, you can go to the next one. By plane, you go clear across the board if you wish. But you're moving around trying to keep the dice, which are why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden?
I don't know. This is your big game.
These are the diseases. I'm sorry. The dice are the diseases, and you're trying to keep those at bay. Because again, if you have 3 of any one color on any particular region, that triggers outbreaks. I love this one. I don't know why. Maybe it's the push your luck aspect of it, but I absolutely adore it.
Yeah, it's a 2 to 5 player game, and we've played it like 7 players because you have the expansion for it.
Yes, we played it 6 and we won.
6?
Yeah,
Okay.
we played it 6. It was 3 couples. But yeah, I absolutely adore this one. It's a lot of fun. But that is our number 4, The Cure.
Our number 3 is the game that got us into all of this. This is the OG Pandemic.
Yeah.
Just like we've been saying the whole time, you have the world breaking out in 4 different diseases in the base game, and then some of the expansions came up with a 5th one though. But you're trying to keep the diseases down in the populations while you're trying to get a cure for it. If you get the cure for it and you wipe out all that color cubes, now it's eradicated. And now if those were to come out anymore during the game, they would not, because it's eradicated. You
this
just skip
is
that
the
card.
only one that did that too. None of the others kept the eradication rule.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, because
it gave you a break.
Yeah,
it
definitely gave you a break though. But yeah, this is the one that we were introduced by your brother and his wife. And we kept wanting to play it because we kept losing. It was like, oh, let's try it this way, or let's try these guys. Let's pair these different jobs up.
You do this job, and I'll do this job, and you focus on this, and we'll beat it this time. And we never did beat it.
So this actually has 3 different expansions with it, and each expansion has different mods in it.
Yeah, because one brings animals into the mix, and one brings the lab where you have to actually go do
State of
things
Emergency
in the lab.
has like 3 or 4 different mods.
Modules, yeah.
The first one on the brink has 2 or 3 different mods, and
They're
then
way
the
down
last
there. I
one
can't see them from here.
in the lab has where you have to take. You can pick it up just like normal, but now you have to take it to the lab, and then they process it through the lab before you can go out and try and get the cure for it. So, but yes, any way you play Pandemic with this, the base game, whether it's expansions or not, very good. If you've never tried it, where have you been?
This is the original cooperative. And I don't know if it's original. Obviously, there have been cooperative games before this one, but this is one that put cooperative games on the map.
Yeah, and a lot of different cooperative games are based
off this system.
The way this works.
Yeah. Yep.
But yep, that's Pandemic, our number 3.
Combined total number 6 or 9. Wow. Okay. All right. Number 2 is another one we no longer have the box for. This is Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Season 1 is when we played by ourselves. It took us about a year to get through it. We actually have it framed. You've probably seen it in a number of our videos.
It's always up there.
It's right
there.
You
can kind of see the bottom corner of it.
Yeah, you can see the bottom corner of it right now. But absolutely love this game. This took Pandemic and turned it on its heels. And this was the first Legacy game we'd ever played.
Yeah.
So we were not 100% sure what to even expect going into it. And we ended every month going, what happened? So
there was a lot of it in this one that was like,
there was.
Say what?
There was. It's like, you want us to do what?
But this was basically, it took the game Pandemic and told you what happened when all those losses you had in Pandemic. this was the outcome.
Yeah. It basically amplified that, and it was so much fun. We did not do well in this season. We scored rather poorly when the whole thing was said and done. But absolutely enjoyed it. Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
So our number 1, we actually agreed on.
Yes, this has a combination rate of number 2.
Yep.
Meaning
So,
we both rated it a 1.
Yep. So this was Pandemic Legacy Season 0.
We just finished this one a few months ago.
Yeah, Season 1 has always been my favorite one overall until we played 0. And we, like you said, we just finished this one. But this basically shows you how their OG actually came about, how that happened. I mean, you started at the very, very beginning before you weren't sure exactly what was going on.
And there were still some aha moments in this.
But
it's like, oh my gosh.
But it built up. Yeah, it explains a lot that happens in season
1.
Season 1. So it is a lot of fun.
I loved the fact that you still had the whole board, but in the middle of it, you had these offshoot boards. I'm not going to go too far into it because then beyond that, it's little spoilers. So,
but the one thing that's not a spoiler that I like is you look at the back of the box and it's right there is your player pieces. They are passports, and it has 3. Each passport has 3 different identifications where you're going to be building them throughout the game.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Very fun game. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. So that is our number 1.
Pandemic Legacy Season 0, and that will do it.
That is it. All right, well, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know your favorite Pandemic game. Let us know if there's any out there that we've missed. I don't think there is.
I don't think there is.
I think we've got them all. But in the meantime...
Until then, we'll see you at the next one.